Hey people, hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. Today I wanted to make a quick and easy guide for Amazing Cultivation Simulator. If you guys know me, you might not know that I make a lot of guides on these types of games. So you know it's going to be a guide of quality, despite this game being out almost I think maybe 10 years now. I still haven't seen a definitive guide for this that is concise and definitive. So I'm going to throw my hat into making one of the best guides for this game. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Obviously, there's a lot of mods, and a lot of people might value some more than others. Personally, I only have two favorites, which is the one-click favor mod. This allows you to progress the main story much easier than normal. The entire social minigame of this game is completely ridiculous. It's really dumb, and I mean, that's just my opinion, but this is the mod that I like to take. And the other one is Call the Merchant. So you have this merchant that comes once a month or something like that, and you have to buy and sell with him a lot. And honestly, waiting for him can take a long time, and you could be stuck in a sort of purgatory of progress due to the fact that he's not here. So honestly, I would take these two. Another one I really like is Map Reveal. It saves so much time. I'll have a link to all the mods that I use down in the description. If you have downloaded the game through GOG, I can help you with the workshop restrictions. I'm going to leave a link in the description. After choosing whether or not you want to download the mods that I suggest picking out a map seed. Now, having an RNG map seed is okay. However, you might end up sort of putting yourself in a purgatory due to lack of resources. Not all map seeds are made equal, and I'm going to go over why. Spirit soil is quite essential because it will help you raise the herbs that will increase your ki and also help you just with farming in general. Ice crystal ore is very great for allowing you to cultivate ice cultivists, and without it you're going to be very slow in producing them. You can buy ice crystal ore, and the same with igneo copper ore later on in the game, but they do cost a lot of spirit stones, so having a lot on your map from the get-go is great. Igneo copper ore is for fire cultivators, and the same thing goes with ice crystal ore. Huge ginkgo trees are sort of really essential due to them helping you with your wood cultivists. You cannot get huge ginkgo trees outside of starting with them. So if you don't start with one, you are sort of going to be falling behind with your wood cultivists. I'm not saying they're absolutely essential. There's things that are better than great ginkgo trees, debatably. However, they are one of the best objects for wood cultivators in general. The monster doesn't really matter too much, but preferably you want a wolf or a tiger or a boar. Get the ability to mount these, and they will increase your inner disciples' travel speed tremendously. And yeah, outside of that, feel free to pick. I think the best one that's on offer right now is this Locomotion Spirit Soul Gem. For an example of a really good one is this one that was so good that they edited out of the game. It had 6 ginkgo trees, a tiger, and a fair amount of these. But yeah, just peruse the ones on the wiki and find the one that you like most. Before we want to start the game, we want to go into the Realms Palace menu. This menu allows us to sort of effectively mod the game to a certain degree. If we create reincarnators here, we can start making our own characters. One thing about this, you need to be wary of, when you make a character in this menu, you'll sometimes be assigned a flaw that you can't remove in this menu. But let's get into this. So this character creation menu allows greater character customization than the normal start game menu. Generally, you'll be assigned whatever background they want to give you, some drawbacks or whatever. But this allows you to sort of change things to a certain degree. It allows you to make your own background that will give you max stats or max skills or whatever, really depending on what you want to do. And also you can sort of permanently name your character and make a sort of headcanon main character team. I suggest making up to 3 to 5 of these of humans, and maybe a few Yogwai if you really want to. Honestly, Yaguai starts are quite difficult, so I maybe not recommend that, but I'd at least make 3. First of all, we want 5 reincarnators with no drawbacks. Just feel free to delete any of these and then create a new one to see what you get. Generally, you just want no drawbacks. Once that is all done, go into life experience and you can sort of assign skills however you wish, or you can just max them all out. You can also max out stats here, and you can just do this, and then you can add some traits. So generally you want positive traits, but the best ones are like intellectual warrior, gifted artist, craftsman, and talented. And there's also one I think related to destiny, favored by destiny. These are the best ones. Outside of that, once you got that all, we'll just give it a name. Main character. And we just save it. Okay, and then we go to our reincarnator and we go into here. We want to look for main. It might be down at the bottom here, so we got that. And now we have our main character with max out stats, or whatever stats or traits that you would want to have given them. Just make sure you don't start with any flaws unless you really want to. Outside of that, you can just change a lot of things. I suggest starting at age 16. That means that you're at the age that your character is considered an adult, and you can start cultivating, etc. If you start younger, you'll need to wait a year, and you don't really want to do that. Gender, assign whatever. You can affect the portrait with this menu here. You can change the body shape or whatever here, and I think the rest sort of speaks for itself. If you want further information on background and traits, I'll leave a sort of link to the wiki in the description. You can sort of pick out which ones you want to take. You can obviously take more than the 6 background ones allow. You can just sort of add them. There's some ones that you can only like roll and stuff like that. But yeah, make sure not to come out of this menu without saving everything. You know if it's saved or not if it has a star next to it. Yaguai allow for further customization with intelligences. You can really almost make a completely broken character using this. Try it out at some time, but it's very, very complicated. After everything, you will want to pick your perks. What perks you pick will dramatically affect your run, so I'm going to go over them quickly. First of all, the first type of perk that you can get is picking your manual at the start of the game. You have one for each of the elements. You will eventually get all of the first starter manuals as you progress in the game. If you do not pick one of these, you'll just get one at random, and you can obviously just start games until you get the manual that you desire. Usually people prefer wood or fire. Other than that, you can take a level 5 one. This one's completely useless, by the way. You can take another number 5 one, and that will give you a second stage elemental one, and that can change the game a lot, I guess. These are meant for much later in the game. However, you will not be able to take any other perks, so it's whether or not you value that over the other. I wouldn't value that. Next up are the savior ones. Most of these suck, except for the manual savior one that will give you one of the manuals, preferably earlier in the game. Next is picking how many followers you have. That's how many characters you can start out with. Preferably leadership, I would say, is probably the best perk in the game. It lets you start with 5 characters, and yeah, you'll have to restart the game a few times to get the element you want, but 5 characters that you can create yourself is going to start you out a lot better. The rest of them, in my opinion, are complete trash. I wouldn't really use them at all. The different races like Yaguai have their own perks. One that's quite unique allows you to unlock body manuals earlier in the game. This will allow you to use manuals that are not elemental based earlier in the game. You'll eventually get this at some point in the game, so it's really, the rest are your followers and the same sort of thing with the manuals and stuff like that. These are also trash. You might want to write down your 5 characters somewhere, as you have to write them down like a password every single time you load them up. To check that your mods are all in line, just go in here and you can make sure that they're working. Starting the game, you'll be presented with Heavenly Chaos or Classic. Heavenly Chaos is more of an expert level of play, so if you're more experienced with the game, it can make the game easier in a lot of ways, and it can make the game harder in a lot of ways. But we're just going to go into Classic. We always want to put the size of our environment up to large. Doesn't matter, etc. You just get more resources. So honestly, it's like a no-brainer. Like, you should always have your size up to large, unless you're wanting to play a challenge or a hard mode. In terms of the other difficulty settings, these are the ones that I like to use. I quite like the more random events. It adds a little bit more spice. I find the game can get a little bit dreary, where long spans of time nothing goes on, so I like putting this up to full. And in terms of this stuff, I find map exploration a pain in the ass, so I like to put that up a little bit. And buildings going faster is just like whatever, you know. Mood can be a little bit annoying, and this just also helps with harvesting. So these are the difficulty settings that I like to take. They might not be for everyone. Feel free to take the game at a raw value. Doesn't bother me. Once you have your difficulty down, it's time to input your environment. Input your map seed in this area here just by putting it in there. And then you can look upon the other side. Faye and Lushu will spawn a special monster in your zone that's not usually aggressive. If you kill it, you will get some rare item drops. But whilst it's alive, it will permanently change the weather of your sect. Lushu will make it summer all the time. Faye will make your sect permanently rainy for a period of time. This will make it more difficult to raise cultivators of either element, but for the first few days at least, it's always welcome, because you're always going to have to pick one element over the other. So this just gives that one a head start. And the golden core cultivation can take up to a few hundred days, so by the time you want a golden core, the opposite element, you can just kill these guys. Other than that, there are the abodes. So this one will give you less plants. This one will give you more plants but less ore. This one will give you more fertile land but give you more lakes and stuff, which makes it more difficult to build. Plains are sort of neutral. Ancient Battlefield also sort of neutral. We'll spawn a bunch of supply crates everywhere with weapons that you can use for the early game, and sometimes it will spawn some zombies who will attack your buildings, which I think is okay. I think is an okay trade-off. I usually use Ancient Battlefield. Desert, obviously going to change the temperature a little bit, strips you of resources and gives you spirit stones instead. Not recommended. Plateau, this will make it so that the temperatures are very low. This will help with refrigeration, but it will damage your spiritual water. I would not recommend this one personally. Then there are the Legacies, which I will go through. So Fiery Chasm will give you this very big fire related wonder on your sect, and it will randomly jump up your temperature. This can be quite annoying and can be difficult, not to spoil anything, when you are fighting the Phoenix, who is going to drop feathers on your base which are going to burn a lot of things. This sort of will just increase the difficulty of the game and isn't advised to take personally. Frozen Furnace will give you a giant ice related wonder. This will be excellent for refrigeration for your food, stuff like that, and it will randomly drop your temperature. Okay, I guess, and as I mentioned before about the phoenix and they're dropping their feathers and stuff like this sometimes can come in a little bit clutch, but it's not that great, personally. Otherworld Rift will just spawn this sort of neutral like object in your sect, which will spawn random supplies in your area or enemies, which you can gain a lot from. You can strip them of their equipment, or it might spawn like a demon beast that you can mount, and that will be, as I told you guys before about mountable companions, it increases your map speed quite a lot. Very good. A Luma tree is okay. It just basically makes it like a super ginkgo tree, and to be honest, the thing is it randomly inflicts this really awful status effect, which is just not recommendable. It's just too much of a drawback, personally. Yin Yang Stella makes this sort of super neutral like wonder, which allows you to farm XP and also causes a very powerful weather event. It's very great and really just comes with absolutely no drawbacks. Last one is the Earth Mother Shrine. This allows you to sacrifice money, or spirit stones as they're called, to summon demonic beasts, and this sort of plays into what I said about mounts earlier, allows you to spawn mounts basically, which is great. However, a lot of people feel like with the new Heavenly Chaos difficulty that this is sort of pointless, and I'll go into that at the end of the guide. These are the settings that I tend to pick. I wouldn't recommend picking anything other than Otherworld Rift or Earth Mother Shrine. All the other ones are quite terrible, and this is the abode that I like to pick. Make sure everything's set. You don't want to start the game and realize that you haven't got everything set, but yeah, just go in. After a short intro cutscene, begin putting in your characters. Remember, this is cap sensitive, so yeah. Now I have my perks pre-selected, and then we go here. Now we've got all of our characters already, we can begin the game. Now, if you are like me and you took leadership, you will be assigned one of these laws randomly. Feel free to reload a multitude of times until you get one that you like. My preferred ones are wood and fire. But without further ado, I've got some tips about Heavenly Chaos as well. Heavenly Chaoses are basically constant effects that apply to your sects, much like Legacies or Abodes, which can have dramatic effects on how you play your game and how your sect plays out. There are also different types of ones that you can make. There's one where you fuse two random conditions into one to make a flaw and a pro. There's another one where you make it up of multiple of different effects. It's very complicated. However, the way that you gain these is determined at the start of your game. You can start out with 3 constant Heavenly Chaos effects, which there are some that are very preferred. They're almost all pro with no flaw. There is one where you get one every few days or whatever, which is more chaotic. It's going to make the game probably a little bit more difficult. Then there's one where you get one every breakthrough, which you'll get multiple breakthroughs per playthrough. This is going to make the game very chaotic. And then one every sec level increase, which makes them about like a maximum about like 12 or 14 times you'll get one. And whether or not it's constant or not really depends. A lot of people like playing this Taishi mode, and this is some further variables. These do not matter really with Taishi. After being shown whatever law that you're going to be able to get, you'll be presented with 3 heavenly Dows that you might want to take. I'm going to go over the recommended ones. Here are some of the best ones. Path of Loss will just mean nothing happens, which is okay because it's RNG. You don't know how many times you want to re-roll this, honestly, especially if you're taking leadership and rolling your manual. Beast Conversion allows you to turn dead animals into monsters, which allows you to make an infinite mount farm and basically an infinite demon beast farm, allowing you to farm mats and mounts and stuff like that. It's also why a lot of people consider the Earth Goddess Shrine obsolete at this point. Alchemy Key Fullness. When you perform an alchemy, you're going to increase the key in the area. This is great for cultivation. Abrupt Fate lowers your medicine tolerance but increases your lifespan depletion. So basically there's a lot of items in this game that you can take that will increase your stats permanently. By lowering your tolerance, it allows you to take more of these so that you can get absolutely more stats. And lifespan is something that doesn't really matter in this game. You're going to end up with almost immortal lifespan by the end of the game. So this one is duty. Talisman Path Collapse allows you to basically make all the talismans that you're making RNG. This can allow you access to some of the more powerful talismans early in the game, absolutely breaking your run. Monster Hunter ones are good because you just basically need to go find these creatures and kill them and you'll get a rare item. Dow Fruit at Risk is one of those special ones where like training foundations takes 5 times the time, but you start with all the laws in the game, allowing you to basically learn any of the martial arts in the game. And this can really like speed up progression because yeah, you lose time with like cultivation, but it's going to take you time to unlock these laws anyway. But yeah, a very like outlier there. But other than that, yeah, all these other ones, there's lots with upsides. Check this guide out. I'm going to post it in the description. Without further ado, that is all the heavenly Dows in the game that I would suggest. Don't pull your hair out restarting the game too many times trying to get the perfect heavenly Dow or law that you want. Without further ado, I would like to thank Amplify, who helped me a lot in the Discord. Check out his channel. I'm going to leave a link down in the description. He also has his own guide for starting the game. But without further ado, if you guys would like part 2 covering the first few weeks of gameplay, let me know down in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's anything that I missed out or anything you would recommend to other new players down in the comments. I will maybe pin the best one. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day.